Hey Brad, my name is John McMullen. It's good to meet you digitally. I am a local web design agency owner that focuses on search engine optimization, making sure people's websites rank as high as they can on Google, and the people that hit your website are getting the best experience they can and converting into paying customers. Nicole gave me your information to make this quick video, and she should be passing along this video to you, which is super helpful. Thanks, Nicole. And I just wanted to give you an overview of what I see in your website, places you can improve. You could take the information and talk to me more, or just take it to somebody else if you want to, and really nail down your onboarding process when people visit your website and what they do after they get there. So without further ado, let me hop into your website here. Oop, I'm going to make me smaller. Yeah, so looking at your website, and I do know that you're also going over to Lake Palestine with this. Looking at it, there's a lot of room for improvement as far as the experience for the user. And if you are, branching out to other regions, other areas, there is definitely some improvement that we can do there. But from top to bottom, you have your logo up top, contact information quickly visible, which is good, and it's clickable, which is great. But coming down below there, it kind of turns into this scatter of I'm not really sure where I should look next, what I should do, what the solid call to action is, and what the complete offering. I mean, obviously y'all do things with fire extinguishers, but it's not very obvious as a user, what it is that you focus on and where I should go next. Outside of, you have your contact information, it's a bit all over the place. So I would take this and, get a nice large banner with a very clear call to action on what the user should do, where you want them to go, and what the next step is for them. And scrolling down the page, you have these various services here, and they're inside of this pin. I believe that's the pin that you pull the fire extinguisher with, if I remember correctly from my one time of using a fire extinguisher, which is very helpful. But it makes these images very small. It's kind of hard to see, and it takes away again from what this section is. All it is a block of these pins and images with text on it. It's not too clear to a user that, hey, these text areas are, they're different services we offer. So having a title on it with a little bit of opening paragraph text of saying, hey, these are the services, these are why you need the services, things of that nature, and then having clear calls to action to going through and looking at each of these services. And then clicking on any of the services, you have a great amount of text on these pages. It's actually more than I was expecting, so that's awesome. But one thing that we can do here is take this text and break it down a little bit more to where it has some read more text that pulls you to other pages. Is one thing that Google looks for in a website, is that it has a large quantity of pages on it that are relevant for the customer and that are linking to each other. There's this whole internal linking strategy. So we could break these pages down, all of these inside pages, the fire extinguishers, everything, and turn them into multiple pages that have your main page of carbon dioxide fire extinguishers, but then also links back to this page from the other kind of breakdown pages that we pull out of the website. And again, for all of these, and all that does is it gives Google more content to understand what your website is, what the main pages are of the website, and why you should be number one on Google, why you should be showing. And each of these pages should have a very clear call to action much higher up on the page. Right now it's just a lot of text. Obviously they can get to the phone number if you want, but you're not telling them, hey, take this next step, get a quote. Call us, have one of our representatives call you. Calls to action like that are much higher on the page for your customer. And scrolling down the home page, you do have your reviews in here, which is great. One thing with these reviews, and this is an automatic plugin for Google Reviews, but it doesn't pull, it doesn't do anything for your site outside of having the reviews on here. So you go to next reviews, it pulls more. If you click on these, it links you out to Google. What I like to do is pull in the Google reviews into the website and have those as separate pages in there. Again, more pages, more content, and Google loves content. They love it so much. Getting these reviews pulled into the website to where we can surround them with text. So, best fire extinguisher company in East Texas, we would link out the fire extinguisher part of it to the page that we're trying to rank for fire extinguishers, and do things like that to really, again, boost up the text. But having the reviews right here as well next to this section, again, your eye doesn't really know where it wants to go or what it wants to do. So it does, clarifying these different sections as to what they are, and building them out to where you can have more content on the website. Now you do at the very bottom here, Serving Texas, 1949. That's amazing. In this Get in Touch, it's good. You had that call to action. It's finally in there, but the call to action should really be higher up the page, and then again about midway down the page, and then again that final push at the bottom of the page. So we do have that in there, which is great. But looking through this, you've got links at the bottom to all of the different services you offer, but it's not really clear that these are the different services you offer, because there's nothing telling the customer. And we just have to, you gotta make sure that spoon feed everything that the customer wants to hear. So going through, I think redesigning some of this. The great thing is you do have a lot of content on your website. It's just not structured quite how it should be to really maximize what you can be doing with your website in Google and converting customers. Looking at the products that you offer with the fire extinguishers, this is, it's good to have this in here for sure, but each of these should really link out to their own page as well. You should have your top, restaurant portable fire extinguishers and display these, but then link out to different pages with these that have more content about it. And it might not be, all about the fire extinguisher. Some of the content on that page is probably going to be why you need a fire extinguisher, right next to the stove or wherever you need it. It'll be content surrounding this content just to build content on the site, really. And again, all of that with the sole purpose of giving Google as much content as you can, and again, pulling in clear call to actions higher up on the page of, talk to a representative now, anything like that. Again, with the services, very similar thing, just building out the content, more pages, more pages, more pages. I can't say it enough. But frequently asked questions, again, are great. It is good. You have this in here. I'm not even going to say anything about this except for the clear call to action. And again, there's about page, just going through page by page here. I would definitely pull these two apart. These, the side by side, the Facebook feed is cool to see, but you also see it's from 2 months ago. It's older content, and people see that and they say, oh, they're not too active. So I don't know how much Facebook feed is helping you here. Definitely the focus on how long you've been around. It's really cool to see a company that has been in business this long. And that's what I love about, I've got Lindale Candy Company and Smith County Lumber up here as a couple of my clients. And man, they've just been in business so long, and they have a lot of really cool content from that. Finally, the contact page here. You do have contact information, but it would be great to have a very simple, clear form for them to fill out. If they're wanting just a quick quote or a little bit more detail, we can put a form on this page that will capture that information and send it to you in an easy to digest format, so that when you call them, you know why you're calling them. You know what you need to talk about, what you need to research, and it helps. It gives them a little more, because if they're browsing at 2 a.m. after trying to set up all of the decorations for the restaurant or figure out plans or whatever, It's a lot easier for them to fill out a form at 2 a.m. than it is for them to remember to call you or to shoot you an email. But and then outside of the website side of things, I do work on Google My Business listings, making sure that you are completely staying up to top with Google My Business. And if you are spreading out to like Palestine and some other surrounding areas, working with franchises and additional locations has become a specialty of mine. I'm very good at pulling up the rankings without setting up a completely other website. One problem with setting up another website is then you have two websites that you have to deal with the SEO for. Whereas if you have one website and location pages, you already have the SEO built and going and that reputation with Google, so you don't need to worry about ranking a whole other website with Google. And it's super helpful to keep one website and have a location page, and you can rank that location page very well without too much additional effort. But that's just a real quick overview. I mean, I hope it was helpful, if anything, but I'd love to sit down with you and grab a coffee or a beer, depending on, where we're at in the day. But so just feel free to give me a call anytime. My number is 281-401-9321, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.